Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. This is Hart Homes LLC. Remember, home is where the heart is. Hart Homes LLC is an ethical real estate investment company dedicated to providing sustainable and socially responsible housing. Our mission is to create positive social and environmental impact to urban Rochester through our real estate investments. We believe in the power of real estate to transform communities and improve lives. We also believe that communities can and have been destroyed by short-sighted real estate investment and exploitative practices. As such, we aim to acquire, develop, and manage residential properties in a way that prioritizes ethical practices, environmental sustainability, and social responsibility. Our focus is on creating affordable, energy-efficient, and inclusive housing options that meet the needs of diverse populations. Here's our current inventory of homes. We've got 6 houses in the LLC, and I also pictured the one that I live in. Not going to tell you which one, but the point is I live, work, and invest in the community that I live in. There's tensions between suburban and rural investment into urban areas, and worse, there's out-of-state, out-of-touch investment. You don't have that problem with me. I live and work, play in the same community. I recycle the dollars, and I'm investing in that community. So what's the problem that Hart Homes is trying to solve? Housing insecurity. It's all over the popular press, housing shortages, housing crisis. And I want to talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, because if you care about any social issue, you need to care about housing. No one can work with any bandwidth on anything else if they don't have a place to lay their head. And this quote by Matthew Desmond, who visited us in Rochester for the Anti-Poverty League initiative, said, "Home is where children find safety and security, where we find our identities, and where citizenship starts." So about me and my background, I am a licensed salesperson. I'm beholden to the code of ethics as a realtor. I've got background and experience with sales, legal side of the business. But that's not what informs my sensitivity or my business model as much as growing up next to this building where there were cycles of degradation and decay, cycles of renewal, and I saw the power that a landlord could have for good or for bad, and how that would ripple out into the community. I also worked for or volunteered with several of these organizations you see on the side, all of the organizations you see on the side, in different capacities, different roles, but that was community facing. It was human service work, and it deepened my connection and my understanding of the problems we have with poverty in Rust Belt Rochester. So I've got strategic community partnerships, took some grant funding from the city of Rochester, the county of Monroe. Housing Council of Pastone provides education and support for my business and also facilitated some of those grants. We've got person-centered housing options. We've got a nascent partnership, potential partnership with them, where potentially Hart Homes could purchase properties for their tenants, their folks in need. And then I've got a connection to the 19th Ward Community Association, which it's not our only neighborhood partnership, but I'm very connected to the 19th Ward because that's where I grew up. So our success factors, we've got market expertise, deep understanding of the market, quality housing, lots of reinvestment, doing repairs, prioritizing regular maintenance, timely repairs, and capital improvements, strong tenant relationships, which I will specifically touch on with our testimonials page, and ethical and sustainable practices. This is our differentiator. This is what you're not seeing. Other companies measure success in number of doors. We've got private ownership, so we can make decisions that prioritize ethics and prioritizes people over profits, basically. This is another home that this is one of the homes that we purchased, remodeled it soup to nuts, took it down to the studs, made a big difference. Very proud of this house. It was featured on the front page of the paper because it was in disrepair, and we were able to, put it back on the tax rolls, get it up and running, and someone lives there today. Another before and after. This was kind of safety focused. There was actually a kiddie pool that's not pictured. So between the Christmas lights, the kiddie pool, and the rusty railing, recipe for disaster. Much safer now. Proud of this project. We were able to remodel this ceiling, put in recessed lighting, and we were able to do it under a tight timeline. And we put the tenants up in a hotel so that they were minimally disrupted and comfortable while they had to be displaced. And we might not have even had to do this, or we could have waited, but I wanted them to enjoy it, and I wanted to make that repair. So we've got some frequent filers. This eviction study shows that there's slumlords, there's operators that frequently file evictions, kind of turn and churn and don't care about the human cost. But you might have sensitivity and say, well, I like smaller landlords, the mom and pop shop, but they're actually overrepresented in eviction court. They don't have the economies of scale. They don't have the professionalism. They don't have the infrastructure. They're well-intentioned, but they're largely amateurs. So how do you get the best of both worlds? Well, slow growth is good growth. Reinvestment is good growth. And I use this metaphor of these timbers. The incremental growth, that timber below it from 1918 is going to be stronger than the one from 2018. Bears out in the numbers. We have good revenue. We have made a profit every year, cash on cash return profit. But we're reinvesting a lot of the dollars. We're not making a ton on the cash on cash return. So most of our profits are in unrealized capital gains. So these are real numbers based, conservative estimates based on the tax assessment and depreciation and investment to date. We've got one that's too soon to sell, but otherwise we are, if we cashed out today, Hart Homes would have made a tidy profit. So we want to scale that impact. We want to scale our growth, but stick to that slow growth is good growth model. Got some tenant testimonials. We've got one tenant rented 8 years, 2 different properties, and then became a homeowner. And we want to build on that. I helped her along the way. I didn't end up representing her in the transaction, but a lot of my tenants go on to become homeowners. And if there's a way to educate, give them a stable place to stay while they learn the housing process, that's what I want to be all about. And then the human-to-human contact. Raul sent his bed forward to Connecticut where he was moving. It was his last night in town. He was going to sleep on the floor. I said, no way, come to my house, sleep in our guest room, and, have dinner with us, and then you can be on your way. So big question I got in the first round of the business plan competition is, how are you innovating? Well, it's a commodity market. Housing is a commodity market, but there's several levels of innovation. You've got, just marketing, positioning ourselves as an ethical real estate service. But it could lead to industry-wide transformation. If this business model gets copied and people start behaving more ethically, that's a win for me. I will have made my money. I'll ride off into the sunset, and I have no problem with that because I made a difference by showing a different way. And we are leveraging partnerships. I'm a student of the MBA program at RIT, and I'm doing everything I can at the Simone Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation. Last slide just shows that this is a reference business plan. We researched this, we thought through it, and we have a new way of doing things. So thanks for your time. I appreciate any feedback you have.